What's going on, y'all? What's going on, you guys? What's going on? Make sure you guys drop a question below. If you make money off any of the free plays this week, leave me a comment, man. We're gonna get started here shortly. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It's been a crazy few weeks in the market, man. It has not been the easiest of conditions, but you know, we still make it do what it do. We still been printing. So we're gonna go over the plays we've been doing. We also went over a lot of plays this Sunday on the free watch list, so we'll kind of look at how those turned out, and we'll look at some plays for tomorrow that you can possibly capitalize on if you're going to be trading tomorrow. I probably won't trade tomorrow. It's been a good week, so I'm pretty satisfied. I don't know, I might not trade tomorrow. What's going on, you guys? Before we begin, guys, make sure you guys share this with at least one person, all right? Somebody that may want to get started trading, or if you're a beginner and you know someone else wants to get started trading, make sure you share this. I trade with the most basic concepts, all right? I use the things you learn as beginners, the same things that I use now. I've been doing this for 6 years, all right? Chart patterns, key levels, candlesticks. I only do the basics, okay? So make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment down here, follow the links below in the description, and that will lead to my YouTube links, the YouTube playlist, Instagram, the free version of the Discord, all of that, man. But of course, if you're in a premium, you get, you get the entries, exits, all the breakdowns. So just make sure you get in the Discord either way, man. Get into the Discord, okay? We're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm not gonna take up too much of you guys' time today. We want to be on here pretty briefly, but I want to give you guys some game here, all right? And I see a question here already. If you guys have questions, make sure you guys just drop them in the chat, and I will answer all of your questions here, all right? See, Justin asks, are you concerned about the after hours drop due to tariffs? I haven't even seen it. I haven't even looked at the market since it closed. Let me see what it's at. It didn't drop. Looked like at 8 o'clock it closed right at 626. It closed right at the all-time high. So it really didn't drop. But you got to realize, we'll start up with this. What you got to understand in the market is it will always have to be some type of news to trip you up, right? Since we're at all-time highs, think about this. Think about from the bottom, right? So in April, when the market was down, to now, the market has fully recovered all-time highs. Yet we still have people who are maybe not profitable for the year, or since the market has been down and came back up, they still may not be profitable even from that point. Why is that? The market is the hardest easy money that you can ever make. Right? The stock market has the hardest easy money that you can ever make, and what makes it so hard is they constantly throw things in your face, such as the tariffs, China news, Israel, Iran, all that. So they constantly throw that stuff at you, and it really trips you up. What I'm gonna tell you is, don't worry about the news. Trade the charts, okay? Don't worry about the news. Trade the charts. The news should be the last thing that you look at, all right? That's the last thing that I take into account when I'm trading is news, all right? The most that I really take into account for news is when we have data, right? So I don't want to be in the middle of a trade and my trade gets stopped out because of some data coming out at 10 a.m. or something like that. I'm always aware of when data comes out, but using the news to trade, nah. So I don't really care about the news, right? You see, the market moves ahead. The market moves ahead. So a lot of times when the news started coming out, it's already priced in. The market moves 6 months to a year ahead of what's really happening. All right, so I'm not worried about the news. If anything, if it does drop, people are gonna buy it again. People gonna buy the stock market right back up. The market is meant to go up. So, so you can see it on Robinhood, SPY down $3. Oh, it may have dropped after 8. I don't know. It may have dropped after 8. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't think it's anything to worry about, man. You're at all-time highs. You gotta pull back. All right, let's look at these charts, man. Let's get straight to these charts. I know it's what you guys want to see. Before we begin, we'll talk about some plays that we went over on Free Play Sunday. All right, the number one play that I gave you guys for Free Play Sunday was Boeing. All right, and we actually banked on Boeing. Many people in the chat banked on Boeing as well. You see here, I said watch out for this area right here. If it starts to get above, you should get a very nice move. And yeah, it's at 226. It got to a high of 230, and you still have a lot of room, right? You can still capitalize on this if you have not got in yet. I wouldn't buy it up here. If you get a dip back down here around 218, anywhere from 218 to 210, I think that's a good buy area to see if it holds as a support to continue to take it higher, right? If you look at it on the smaller time frame, such as a 1 hour, you might not get it. If you look at this on a 1 hour, Boeing looks like it wants to continue, right? So this is a chart pattern right here called a bull flag pattern, okay? Now, take note of something here. When we're trading, we always want to do top-down analysis. What is top-down analysis? Top-down analysis is when you look at a stock from the daily time frame and move your way down, okay? So you have to be able to analyze and be able to say, okay, well, each chart is different. Each chart will tell you a different story. If you just look at Boeing, right now I have a 1 minute chart. So each candle represents 1 minute. If I was to show you this chart, you may say, well, I don't know, man, Boeing, like it was going down today. Why are you even watching this? That's what you see on the 1 minute. You have to, this is why you got to zoom out. If you are looking, you don't know that on a daily chart, you are breaking out of a place that you haven't been to since 2023, right? We haven't been in this area for Boeing since 2023, 2 years since Boeing has been up here, okay? So it is in a breakout. Now, when we go down a time frame, we're at the 1 hour, you see a possible bull flag, right? And you say the market's down after hours, so it may be down a little bit right now, but this is a bull flag. A bull flag is a continuation chart pattern that tells you that the stock is more than likely to continue going in the upward direction, okay? So with that, you say, okay, I see this now. where can I possibly enter, right? That's when you kind of want to use your pre-market levels, or some people like take the highs. You could be risky and take this high point right here, but you still got to worry about 230. You know, it just depends on how you want to do that. But Boeing is still a good play. If Boeing starts to break out, especially if it starts to push 230, 228 again, Boeing can continue. Bull flat pattern on the 1 hour chart. Easy money. Watch that tomorrow. All right, let's keep going. Uber had broke out. All right, we talked about Uber on Free Play Sunday, and Uber broke out on Monday. All right, so had the nice move on Uber. We made some good profit on Uber as well. Like it might consolidate here a little bit. You haven't really got much continuation on Uber, and the 1 hour isn't amazing, so might not get a whole lot of continuation on Uber right now. So I'll kind of probably just kind of watch out for it. You're a little late to the party at this point. Apple is one that we also talked about. Apple is the only stock that I tell you, it's two stocks that we talked about that haven't really done much yet. And Apple is one of them, right? So this is Apple, and Apple now is forming a bull flag pattern on the daily chart, right? So Apple, you see this, this is a no trade zone. You see when it's just going sideways? You don't want to trade the stock when it's going sideways. You want to start watching the stock when it's having the moves up and down, right? When it has the big moves up and then it starts to move back down a little bit, okay? You don't want to trade in sideways action. We are trading options, all right? You make money from options from the stock going up or the stock going down. When a stock is going sideways, you are losing money, all right? We don't want to be in when the stock is losing, or when your option is losing money, right? We want to be in when the moves are expected to go up or expected to go down. How do you know it's going to go up or down? You use your basics, your chart patterns, your levels, your candlesticks. That's how you make that good guess right there, okay? So Apple, we have a bull flag pattern right here. Let's see, where's the 200 for Apple? Ooh, okay. So Apple is at the 200 though. If Apple can hold 215, it really needs to hold 215, I'm not gonna lie. It needs to hold 215, but if it does, it's gonna go. You still have a gap fill up to 221, so you have $6 worth of room on Apple. And you have to ask yourself, is a $6 move on Apple enough for you to make money, right? And of course it is. So Apple bull flag, I don't think it'll happen tomorrow. I don't think it will, but definitely one that you need to watch, right, for the upcoming weeks, okay? Coinbase, we talked about Coinbase as well. I said Coinbase had a bull flag pattern, and it'll probably come back up 371 and probably gonna go straight to all-time high. All right, so Coinbase flag pattern has broken out, and you're not too far from the highs. I think the last time I looked at it was at like 395 in aftermarket, the last time I looked. So yeah, if you took Coinbase, congrats. I didn't take it. I was already in some other things, so I let that one go. But hindsight 2020, I should have definitely just got in and let it go. So good job on Coinbase if you executed on that one. Let's see what we got. Shopify, I'm not interested in that. Oracle, I'm not interested. EMU is not doing much. HIMS, I'm good. I wasn't gonna give y'all this one, but I'll give y'all this one right here. I'll give y'all this one right here. This is probably my favorite setup in the market right now that hasn't happened yet. Okay? This is my favorite setup in the stock market right now. Right? My favorite setup in the stock market right now is Google. Okay? Google, the play is not ready yet. I'm gonna warn you, the play is not ready. But what this is a inverse head and shoulders, okay? What is a inverse head and shoulders? This is a chart pattern that tells you that the stock is about to blow, okay? If it breaks out. So how do you see this? You have a head right here at the bottom, and this is a inverse. So that means you also have a regular head and shoulders that we're not gonna see a whole lot of right now because the market's so bullish. But With the inverse head and shoulders, you have your head right down here, you have your shoulder right here, then you have your shoulder right here, and then you have your neckline. The neckline is the resistance, okay? So this is the thing that makes chart patterns powerful. Whenever you can combine a chart pattern with a level, that makes the play 10 times better, because not only do you have a chart pattern that tells you that the probability of this stock is to do this rather than to do this, but you also have a level. What do levels tell you? Chart patterns and levels tell you where the buyers and sellers are going to be fighting. Okay, so the buyers and sellers are going to be fighting right here, and if the buyers happen to win right here, you're going to get those moves like you have on Coinbase, like you have on Boeing. Okay, what else broke out? Like you had on Uber. All right, this is what happens when you get to these key levels and you're able to break out. So Google is my favorite setup right now that is not ready yet. Okay, Google's not ready yet, so I'm not saying hop in Google. The best entry is really 182, especially for like a day trade. But if you were to be risky on it and was to get in here, closer you can get to 174. Looks like 174 has been a little support. If you catch it down here, that could be good as well. But you will need to put time on your contracts if you catch it down here. Of course, if you catch it during the breakout, then that would be a shorter term trade. But yeah, Google looks amazing. All right, and what is the last stock to have a inverse head and shoulders? Let me show you. Let me show you the last stock to have an inverse head and shoulders. It's right here. All right, this is Microsoft. Okay, this is the last stock to have an inverse head and shoulders breakout. All right, what did I say you need? You need this shoulder, shoulder, head, and a neckline. Okay, and a neckline. Okay, this is the resistance that it had to break. And you see, when it broke, it went from 499, right? So this is actually right at 500. So from 500 and it popped all the way up to 506. All right, 500 to 506. That's a $6 move just from seeing a chart pattern. All right. Now, if you can be patient in the market and wait for these type of setups, I'm telling you, you can make money. You guys may say, well, you don't lose a whole lot. I do lose too. I do lose as well, but I don't lose nearly as much as I win because I trade high probability setups. Okay, these setups that I'm teaching you guys, they work 7 to 8 times out of 10. I'm not gonna lie to you, they work 7 to 8 times out of 10. Especially if you can use them in a certain way, right? So you want to trade bullish chart patterns when the overall market is bullish. Okay, you just gotta, something you gotta understand about trading is you gotta be a bandwagon. All right, when the market was falling, you guys can go back on my Instagram, go back on my YouTube. I was saying, hey, watch out for these bearish flags, look for the bearish pennants, right? Because the overall market is bearish. So I wasn't talking about no bull flags. I wasn't talking about an inverse head and shoulders. I wasn't talking about anything bullish. When the market was falling, I was talking about bearish things because I'm a bandwagon. You have to be a bandwagon in trading. We want to be on the side of the overall market. So now that the market is bullish again, notice I'm not telling you guys anything about bear flags or bear pins. I'm telling you about inverse head and shoulders, bull flags, things breaking resistances. I'm not talking about things rejecting from a resistance. Okay, so just that is a nugget that you will not find, that nobody else will tell you. I promise you, no one else is going to tell you that. Trade with the overall market. All right, it's much easier to trade with the market than to try to predict a counter trade. I promise you. Let's keep going, man. Bitcoin is at, sheesh, hold on. Bitcoin is at 115. Bitcoin is at 115. So Bitcoin has broken out. And let me show you guys this. Let me show you guys this right here. Because y'all think I be capping. What did we just talk about? What chart pattern did we just talk about? So we got that again, right? Bitcoin had an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So this type of breakout on Bitcoin should not surprise you because you know that it had the pattern already. Well, you might not have known, but you know now, all right? So I've shown you 2 to 3 examples of the last few stocks that have had, well, Bitcoin isn't a stock, but the last few trading instruments that you could have capitalized on from that one chart pattern. Okay, so please watch Google. All right, so if you kind of just now joining, I'll do a little reset. We're doing Free Play Friday. This is where I hop on Thursday and I just go through my stocks and I give you guys game, right, for completely free. All that I ask you guys to do is to leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe to my channel. That is all I ask you guys to do. You don't have to pay me for anything. I'm giving you free game. Okay, share this with one person. All of my links are below for my Instagram, my free Discord, everything. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Lyft, not too much going on there. Lyft can't catch a break right now. PayPal actually looks kind of decent. That looks decent. Let's say it's definitely a bull flag right here on PayPal. Probably not something that I'm gonna play personally, but it's definitely a bull flag right here. Definitely a bull flag, right? That's definitely a bull flag. Not something that I'm gonna play, but it's there. So Excel, just kind of moving. All right, let me show you guys this as well. Okay, so I sent this to the group. This is why I say key levels are important. All right, I sent to the group this morning about 557 for QQQ. I said, hey, look, you need 557 to break to get a nice run on tech. On QQQ, you know, SPY, you need 557 to break. All right, so look right here. Look at this 557 area. On July 3rd, we rejected hard, right? So we rejected this and came all the way down. July 9th, rejected, came all the way down. Today, rejected, came all the way down. So what is this telling you? This is telling you that until this is broken, you may not get that good of a continuation on certain stocks. Okay, so your top 10 stocks, you might not get a good continuation until QQQ can find a way to break 557. I'm telling you now, when QQQ can find a way to break 557, that's when you're going to see your next big run. All right, the stock market is going to continue to go up if QQQ can break 557. All right, 557 is your level on QQQ that you need to break to get your next run. All right. Hood, this is another one that I love. We banked on Hood as well. We swung Hood overnight, and yeah, we banked on it. Hindsight is 2020, but I should have held. But hindsight is 2020. I did not signal the swing today just because it's so close to all-time highs. At this point, it's just better. Unless it gets news, it probably won't open above the highs, right? It'll take some news to open above the highs. So it's probably just going to be a better day trade. So easy play here tomorrow is going to be watching Robinhood above the all-time high. That simple, okay? Watching Robinhood above the all-time high. And you may say, well, how do you know when to enter? I have videos on my YouTube that tell you guys exactly what I look for and how I enter day trades. I have literally I have 4 full free mentorship classes that I've had. I have all my strategies. All of my strategies are on YouTube for free. All right, everything I have on here is for free. SMCI is another stock that we played yesterday. We swung, took profits at open on that one. I think it can continue. Now, a lot of people were kind of upset today. A lot of people were upset today because it didn't run. But let me show you this. And this is why top-down analysis is so important. SMCI. You may have seen people post charts on SMCI. All right, and they may have shown you this bull flag, right? Cool. But notice I have another line right here, and I have an arrow. You may say, RJ, what is that? This is why you got to go back. If we go back and we zoom out on the daily, you will see that this white line is a area that SMCI had been rejecting since March of 2024. So every time we've gotten to this white line since March of 2024, look what has happened. Tank, 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 tank. So now we are here again. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is, if SMCI starts to break out and we start to get above 51, 52, 53, I'm telling you now, SMCI might explode. Alright? SMCI might explode. And I'm talking about into the 60s and higher. Okay? SMCI might explode. Alright? Just simply because this is a trend line that had not been broken in a year. Alright? SMCI is not a stranger to crazy moves. Okay? Some of you have been trading for a minute. You may remember this run of SMCI. Right? Look at this crazy move here. This crazy move here. So now it's been held down for over a year. And if this happens again, you might get another crazy move. Alright? So this move on SMCI is a lot bigger than what you think. Okay? So this is a lot bigger move than what you think. Now of course we could reject here and come down, but if it breaks out, there's a lot of money to be made. Alright? There's a lot of money to be made. So that's really what I got, man. Like I said, I didn't want to stay out here too long. I'll kind of go over the plays very quickly. The ones that I actually liked for you guys here. The ones I'm kind of gonna watch out for tomorrow. And like I said, I probably won't trade tomorrow. It's been a pretty good week. I don't think I had a loss this week at all. Might be. I think we're undefeated this week, man. But yeah, probably just gonna end the week on that high note. Let's see here. Yep. So Boeing, 1 hour bull flag. Boeing gets one to watch tomorrow if this continues, right? If it continues, especially if it starts getting above 228 to that 230 area, Boeing may take off. Another one that we talked about that you need to watch for tomorrow is Hood, right? I didn't even tell you the chart pattern. This is a bullish pennant chart pattern, okay? A bullish pennant chart pattern right there. And we are right at the all-time high. So if it gets above the all-time high, that's kind of where you want to look to take your money and go. All right. One thing I also want to tell you guys is we as options traders have to realize how spoiled we are. All right. You got to realize how spoiled you are that you can put in any amount of money and get back a certain percentage, right? Many of us will get up 20-30% on a trade and say, oh, it's not enough, I'm not gonna take profit. But then you hold a trade that's down 60%. Put this into perspective. When you go to the bank, right? Let's say that you don't have much to trade with. Let's say you got $1,000, right? And in a day, you took a trade with $300 and you made 10%, right? You made $30. Let's say you made $30 in a day off $300. That's 10%. If you were to go to the bank with that $300, think about how long it would take you in a savings account to make $30. All right? Most savings accounts give you 0.4 to 0.5%, or is it 0.04 to 0.05, something like that, right? You get a crazy small amount of interest on your savings, okay? So just imagine how spoiled you are to even make $20 in a trade, $50 in a trade, $100 in a trade. You got to put this stuff into perspective, right? Because this is the real game. The real game is using this money to go and buy shares, right? Because that's really, I mean, the goal is to have as many shares as you can get, right? Because we know the stock market is made to go up, okay? So that's how you really build your wealth, is buying shares, okay? That's just a little nugget there, a little food for thought. Okay, so we talked about Hood. What else we talk about? We also talked about Google. This isn't ready yet, but Google 4-hour inverse head and shoulders. If this thing breaks out, it's gonna probably gonna go straight to 187. Okay, the last two to have this pattern right here is Microsoft, right? So Microsoft pop, and a lot of you guys' favorite, Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin also had a inverse head and shoulders, but it had it on the daily chart. Okay, so you can see it right here. Shoulder, shoulder, head, breakout. Okay, so watch out for those, man. Yep, you see Miss Vet said I made 7 cents on over $5,000 sitting in the bank account. Think about that. So think about how many of those 7 cents it would take to make $30. We got to put into perspective, y'all. I'm telling you. All right. So that's really what I got for today, man. I'm not gonna watch the whole lot. Like I said, I probably won't even be trading tomorrow. Just because I gotta work at 11 tonight, so I'm gonna be up all night long anyway. So I probably won't trade tomorrow for sure. But yeah, that's what I got, man. I see someone put Tesla in there. Let's see what Tesla looks like. Tesla. Honestly, I'll be real with you. I don't know. Tesla's a meme stock. Tesla's a meme stock at this point, right? You don't know what Elon's gonna say. You don't know when he's gonna beef with Trump, when he's gonna be friends with Trump. Tesla's a meme stock right now, so it's hard to analyze it. I'm not gonna lie to you. ZS, I see ZS. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh, this looks horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I wish I would have saw this. I would have definitely alerted the trade. Okay, I'll give you guys. Nah, I'm not gonna tell you guys this. This is a certain setup that I talk about that I actually made up in my chat. This is a certain setup that I made up in my chat. And for you guys that are in here that may be in the chat, you may see it. You might see it. This is a certain type of setup. You have a crazy up move and then start slowing down. Right? Start slowing down. You get some bearish divergence, and yeah. So this is a type of move here that I talk about in my chat. But I ain't gonna say it on here. But I'll just say that doesn't look good. All right. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So the play here would definitely be just if it keeps going down. It's a lot of downward momentum. So think about this. One day of sell-off just took you all the way back to June the 4th. One day of sell-off just took you all the way back over a month. That's crazy, right? And that's not saying that the stock is bad or anything. I mean, the stock has been going up since April, right? People got to take profit. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's wrong with the stock. Let's see what else. What else we got? GE. See, somebody said GE. GE. Probably not something I would play right now, but it doesn't look bad. I mean, it's kind of just making higher highs, higher lows. Doesn't look bad, but probably not something that I would play. KTOS, what is that? I don't know what this is, but it's kind of just inching up. I don't really see a setup unless we come down to the 4-hour. Oh, it popped after hours though. Popped a little bit after hours. Might be good for tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, look decent. But that's what I got for you guys, man. I hope this was helpful. All right, if this was helpful, let me know on Instagram or on Discord. Let me know if these free play Sundays, free play Fridays. Let me know if these are helpful for you. If you made any money, man, from this free content. Once again, if you're trying to learn how to trade, I have tons of videos on my Instagram and my YouTube. Tons of free content that you can indulge in. You can go down a rabbit hole. I trade using the most basic concepts, all right? I do very simple things, okay? So I hope you guys have a blessed night. I thank you guys for hopping on. Been about 30 minutes. Told you I wasn't gonna take up too much of your time tonight. All right, so I will see you guys Sunday for the free Sunday watch list. You guys be blessed, be safe, and have a great weekend, man. I'll see y'all later.